Hello Artcadets and welcome to this week's video. So if you joined us last week, on last week's video we made the front cover for a summer scrapbook, and I've got mine here, and that was inspired by all things that we like about summer. And in the inside I thought we would do some different things that we've been and done, and include some photographs or tickets or anything that we've done during the holidays. So the first week we went to the library because the children have got to do a reading challenge over the library, and that inspired me to make a bookmark. So I thought we would make a lollipop bookmark, and I've got some lollipop sticks, and you don't have to buy a whole pack. If you've got a lolly, then just save the stick. I've also got some of the colouring paper that I used before, but this is quite stiff, so if you've got a piece of card that will do fine, or a stiff piece of paper as well. And once we've made the lollipop bookmarks, we are then going to put some photographs in our scrapbook of our day at the library. So if you're ready, let's go! So I started off by using my book as a kind of a template to give me an idea of what sort of size bookmark I wanted to do, and then I placed the stick on my piece of paper just to make sure that it would be even. So roughly measured either side of the stick and then drew a square around that shape. So you can use any sort of lollipop design, and I thought the other option would be almost like a rocket lolly. Have you ever had those? I used to have them a lot when I was younger, but that's a little bit more of a tricky shape, so I just went for the basic lollipop shape, but feel free to use your imagination and create one of your own. So once I'd got this rectangle shape, I cut it out with my scissors. And I'm doing this in more real time today, so I'm not fast forwarding the videos, so you can see it really doesn't take that long at all. And it's a really easy thing to do, so anyone can do it, and you can make the design of your bookmark any which way you like. I just thought a lollipop was quite fun and quite summery. So once I got the basic shape, I decided to round off the corners. So I marked I marked a dot in the middle of the rectangle and a mark either side this was to try and make an even curve. So I drew a curve on one side from the two dots, joining the two dots. It's probably easier to watch and see rather than have me explain. And just cut that first little bit off. You don't have to do this, it's just I like things to be even, so I then used that little bit, turned it over and drew around it, so I've got a curve shape. And then cut that bit off so it would match the other side. But don't feel like you've got to do all this, because you can just cut the edges off. It'll be a lot easier. So then just smoothing out those little corners to make a nice even curve on the top of the lolly. So once I did this, I just rubbed out my pencil marks and we were ready to start colouring it in.
before we coloured it in, I forgot this bit, I decided to make it a bit more interesting. So I did a bite mark out of the corner and cut that out as well. So that's quite effective, and I quite liked the idea of having a bite mark out of it. So that's how it's going to look. So I divided the lollipop into 3 parts. I did fast forward this bit because it's just me colouring it in, just because I thought it'd be more interesting than to do one colour. So any felt tips or markers will do, and just try and do a nice even colour. If you are using a sort of an alcohol based marker like I am with these Copics, then just make sure that it's dry before you put 2 colours next to each other, otherwise they can bleed into each other. So while I'm just finishing off colouring this in, I thought I would tell you about next week's Tuesday video, which is also inspired by our trip to the library, and I've done an illustration which is called The Magical Library. So join me on Tuesday for that, and hopefully you like last week's illustration as well. So don't forget to leave any comments of other things that you'd like to see me make or draw. So once the colouring in was finished and the marker was dry, I then added some what are they called, hundreds and thousands, or I can't remember what they're called now, little sugar strands on the top. And then I did go in, I wasn't going to, but I did go in and colour in the back the same. So on the back of the lollipop, once I was done, I then used just a Pritt stick to glue on my stick. I wasn't sure whether Pritt stick would be strong enough, but for this little project it did a really good job. So I think if you wanted to be really clever, you could have done 2 shapes the same and sandwiched the lollipop stick in the middle, and then you don't get to see it. But I thought this was a quick little tutorial, and it didn't really matter to me. So there it is, all done. And as I said in the beginning, I did then create a page in our scrapbooks of some printouts, photographs that I'd taken of the library, and also some clip art, just to make a nice display in our scrapbook on that first page. And I had a lot of fun doing this one, and it's something really quick that you can all do, and maybe you could even give them away to people as gifts.
Well, that's all for today, Artcadets. I hope you've enjoyed making a lollipop bookmark for our summer scrapbook. If you have, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week for more scrapbooking fun. Bye!